Browns still preparing for the Seahawks here on Thursday, and today we heard from Deshaun Watson, Mary Kay. He spoke a day after Kevin Stefanski ruled him out for the game on Sunday. PJ Walker will start. What was your biggest takeaway from what Deshaun Watson had to say on Thursday?
Well, I asked him about all the speculation, innuendo, and reports that perhaps he just doesn't want to play football right now. And he rejected that notion. He said it's crazy talk that he would not want to play. He said, I've worked my tail off for the last 2 years to come back and play and try to lead this football team, and he doesn't appreciate that notion.
Yeah, Ashley, I mean, look, there are fair criticisms, I should say, of Deshaun Watson, but it does feel like just saying he doesn't want to play probably crosses a little bit of a line.
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand why he wanted to put that to bed, so to speak. And I mean, he even called out the national reports that were suggesting that and saying that, those people don't talk to me or know what's going on with me day to day. So it really felt like he just wanted to take that opportunity to dispel some of these rumors, even though, of course, we already know he's not going to play in the Seahawks game.
Now, another thing that stood out, I think, is Deshaun kind of admitting, and I guess we knew this, but he wasn't 100% in that game against Indianapolis. And then, of course, honestly, he sounded a little bit surprised as to how poorly it went. He mentioned that in practice it's going to be different than in a game. And when he got out of there in a game, it was just, it's different than throwing on air. What did you think of what Deshaun had to say about that, Mary Kay?
Well, players think that they are invincible. They never think that they're not going to pull out of a tailspin in a game. And I think he really believed that if he had been able to stay in there, that perhaps there was a chance things would have gone a little bit better. But it was so obvious. Even offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt said today on that interception that Deshaun threw, it did not have the velocity. Most of his passes didn't, and maybe other people could see a little bit better what he couldn't.
Yeah, Ash, I mean, again, it was just more of an admittance that maybe, maybe he just shouldn't have played in that game. I don't know that Deshaun was admitting that, but just with everything that we've heard, maybe he just shouldn't have been out there in the first place.
Yeah, and I think he even said, somebody asked him about, well, you looked good in practice on that Friday before the game, and he even admitted, there's no real comp for playing in a game versus those practice reps. So it definitely thinks it kind of maybe goes along with my takeaway that I assume we're going to get to next, that point, though.
Well, go for it.
Well, I think for me, it was just this idea of, we've heard a lot about this 4 to 6 week timeline. And Mary Kay, I know you asked him, has that timeline been adjusted at all? And when he talks about it, it's in these very general terms. So I think my biggest takeaway is that he doesn't maybe have a definitive answer for when he's going to be 100% then. And I know that's not probably what a lot of Browns fans want to hear, but I think it's the reality of the situation. He said that 4 to 6 week timeline was more so a general timeline that he had been told when this happened and when they figured out what exactly was bothering him. So I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, Mary Kay, I mean, the question is really, are we ever going to see him at 100% this season? Or are we always going to see a more limited version of Deshaun?
Well, he admitted that he does not know if this is going to linger. And even if it doesn't linger and he goes out there and he feels, 85, 90% one day, he could take another one of those big hits and be set back again. So I have a feeling this is something that's going to be bothering him for a little while.
Okay, full coverage of everything Deshaun had to say today before practice, and full coverage of everything leading up to the game. We'll have our preview podcast going up, our picks, all of that coming on Friday. It's all at cleveland.com/Browns.